Welcome to the Crypto Boss Ninja channel. Let me get everything set up on TikTok and then we will get started here for this live stream. So let me just get everything set up. Usually we do go live later, but you know, I gotta work tomorrow, so hopefully y'all are having a good weekend. Bitcoin is taking a tumble. I'm gonna let you know where I think we go next for Bitcoin, and then we're gonna go from there. Let me verify the sound is good and get everything set up. So let me pull up the Fear and Greed Index. All right, so right now the Fear and Greed Index, let me see what it's at. Trying to get my phone set up correctly, so bear with me. Right now, the Fear and Greed Index is sitting at 76. We are in extreme greed right now. I would expect this. You know, you could go up. I think it's 0 out of 100, so it could definitely go up more. But I believe anything above 70 is extreme greed. Maybe it's 75. I think it's... Yeah, anything above 75 is extreme greed. So we're barely in extreme greed, but we're teetering on greed and extreme greed. So that's what we're looking at right now as Bitcoin is taking a move to the downside. So, I believe locally Bitcoin has topped out short term. Right now, Bookmap is telling us that there is some liquidity up here at 52,000, but if I keep zooming out, let me see if there's any at 53,000 anymore. There's still some at 53,000, but you see a lot more liquidity today. Well, you see just as much liquidity at 53,000 as you see at 50,000. So it's a 50-50 shot at this point, in my opinion, based on Bookmap. So really, Bookmap is giving us mixed signals. But if you look even lower at 48,000, there's a lot more liquidity than there is at 53. So really, it's likely Bookmap is suggesting you do go down to the lower targets. It's slightly more likely than going up, especially because now you're below some major moving averages on Bitcoin on the smaller time frames. So I'm kind of looking for a move to the downside. 48,000 is likely here, probably come this next weekend or this next upcoming week. For right now, Bitcoin is teetering on 51,000. We'll see what happens. The weekly chart for Bitcoin, again, has more room to go to the upside on the stock RSI. The 3-day is cooked on the 3-day basically has no more room to go up, but it could get pinned. The weekly could pin it. The daily chart is curving down on the stock RSI. You see it's starting to fall here on that time frame. The 12 hour is already trying to make a higher low. That's a good sign. The 8 hour is already oversold. The 6 hour is oversold as well. The 4 hour chart is oversold as well. Although, again, you're really far from the moving averages, so I think it's very likely that Bitcoin continues to at least consolidate, go sideways, or come slightly further to the downside. And Bookmap says 48,000 is likely. 47K for Bitcoin is the next major support to the downside. You also have support at 49,153, and of course, we are trying to hold the lows of 50,600, so we'll see if we can do that. But again, I think this is probably a bearish retest of the 21-day moving average on the 1 hour time frame, so I think it's likely Bitcoin still continues to go to the downside. So that's just what I'm looking at right now. If you guys would like to see the entire screen, go over to YouTube. We have a YouTube channel, Crypto Boss Ninja there. Also join the Telegram group. It's free to join. The link to join that is in my bio on TikTok. So that's what I'm looking at for Bitcoin. The 21-day moving average right now is at 51,250, basically where we are right now. The only good sign for the bulls short term is the 1 hour chart is oversold and it's getting a bounce to the upside. That's a lower low. So the trend right now short term, in my opinion, is very much the downside. The 50-minute time frame is also confirmed a local a lower high, I should say, and that's also a lower low. So you have lower low, lower high, and now I think it's likely Bitcoin loses 50,600 and puts in a lower low. So if Bitcoin's next low on the 15 is a higher than 50,588, then that's a higher low or double bottom. But if Bitcoin loses 50,600, that's going to confirm downtrend to me on the 15. Also on the 50-minute time frame for Bitcoin, you can see that we are now below the 200-day moving average as well as the 200 smooth moving average. So I'm looking for more downside based on what I'm looking at. So that's where I leave it. But that also means, let me go over to Bitcoin dominance now. This basically shows you how much Bitcoin controls the market. When this goes to the downside, that means altcoins are going to start taking over. If Bitcoin is going sideways or down, there's a good chance altcoin season could happen. So Bitcoin dominance, when this goes down, that's bullish for altcoins. And right now, I like what I'm seeing for this. The 4-hour chart on Bitcoin Diamond just made a lower high. That means altcoins are probably going to be in control, at least short term. So maybe for the next few days or few weeks, Bitcoin Diamonds is going down. That means altcoins can really have a tears. We've seen some coins like LPT really go on a massive tear. This coin is up 26% as of recently. And for the week, it's up 157%. So it's really doing pretty good. Now, of course, it's looking like it's topping out, and it might be a good time to short LPT if you can't hold the 21-day moving average, which you're at. I just got stopped out of that trade. I was trying to long this, and it has not been good to me. But anyways, LPT probably is just topped out locally. You just made a lower low, and you're about to lose a 21-day moving average. So if you don't get bounced here, it's probably over for LPT. I thought this could be another bull flag, but it was not. So anyways, that's what I'm looking at for the market. Also, this was probably a shoulder, head, and a right shoulder, and now you're probably breaking further to the downside on LPT. But there's other coins that are doing pretty good. This is BTC2. This is just a meme coin, $2 or $3 million market cap. But this seems really volatile, so you could trade it. I can't believe it, but Mexi does allow you to do futures on this. It's BTC2. Again, the market cap is literally not even $3 million, so be careful. But the fact you can do leverage on a $2 million coin is kind of crazy to me, but I guess that's what they allow you to do on MEXC. So you could either get wrecked or make a lot of money really fast. I mean, this is down 30% today, so I think you can do, I don't know how much leverage, I think it's 125x leverage on this, so that's pretty crazy. But if you guys have requests for altcoins, let me know in the comment section below, and I will look at them. Again, we're live on YouTube, so go check that out. I don't know why no one watches on YouTube anymore. We used to have more viewers on YouTube than on TikTok, and now it's like the complete opposite, but that's okay, I guess. It is what it is. So thank you for the likes on TikTok. Let me see if I see any requests. As of right now, I do not, but thank you, Jason, for the likes. And yeah, I don't see any requests right now for altcoins, but that's kind of what I'm looking at in the market. I expect Bitcoin to go sideways or go down shorter term, maybe even to next week, especially with Bitcoin dominance the way it is. And I expect altcoins to really have fun in the sun, and that's what I'm looking at right now. So with that being said, that was what I wanted to go over. And I see a lot of altcoins that had a huge pump that could be retracing now, such as CKB being one of them. Gronk could be another one. Yes, the Gronk, GROK is another one. LPT is probably one that could be a short here soon, but don't, you know. And then BTC2, I'm not sure about that one. It hasn't had much of a run, but it is bearish on the 5-minute time frame. So, you know, though all four of those coins look like they could be a bigger short is in play. But that's kind of what I'm expecting Bitcoin to go down. And if Bitcoin starts dumping, even altcoins will dump. But Bitcoin can just go sideways, and that's how altcoin season can start. So that's what you would want to see if you're trying to, you know, have a big alt season. But short term, I do see downside in the market. And if Bitcoin's going to dump another few $1,000s, there's a good chance altcoins are going to do the same thing. But then when Bitcoin can level out and go chop for a month or two, that's when altcoins can really rip. So that's what I would like to see in the market, because that's when you have the most opportunity, I believe. So, thoughts on Ethereum. Let's go over and look at Ethereum really quickly. And I forgot completely about this, but I'm going to get some music going. And let's go over and look at Ethereum. We'll do it on this chart. All right. All right, so Ethereum right now, let's start on the weekly time frame for Ethereum. Ethereum right now has more gas to the upside, but usually when I see the stocks or the RSI curve up when it's in the middle of a downtrend, usually it just makes a lower high or it does something like this. It'll be curving down. It'll get a small move up and then continue to the downside. So the weekly chart, to me, in my opinion, is still, based on what I've seen in previous times, in previous price history, I would expect the Ethereum chart is in a downtrend on the weekly still, but the 3 days probably overbought. No, it's not. 3 days has more gas. So to me, Ethereum has lagged behind Bitcoin. There's a chance now Ethereum has a tear against Bitcoin, and you can make more money if you trade the ETH Bitcoin pair. You can get more Ethereum if Ethereum outperforms Bitcoin. And that might mean, you know, Ethereum only goes, you know, if Ethereum goes sideways while Bitcoin dumps, you can make money on your Ethereum against Bitcoin. That's, you know, I'm not trying to get too complicated here, but a 3-day chart for Ethereum has more gas. The daily chart is in a downtrend, so be careful. If we look at the 12-hour chart, that's going to make a higher low, I should say. The 8-hour chart's already oversold, kind of in a falling wedge to me on Ethereum. Your next support for Ethereum is 2630, so you're not at support yet. The 4-hour chart is also in a falling wedge, so this is kind of what I'm seeing on Ethereum, is a falling wedge that could break to the upside. These break up 68% of the time, so if you can get some sideways action on Bitcoin doesn't dump the whole market, this thing could really probably have a nice move up. Conservatively, you're looking at a measured move of $30,000 or $3,000, I should say, maybe 30, 40, something like that. 1-hour chart is going to make a lower high, get to the top of the channel probably, and then what you would be looking for is a top out right here, and then get a lower high, and then come down, and then hopefully have a breakout. Something like that's probably in play for Ethereum. I'll just leave that drawing there. We'll see if that comes true or not. The 15-minute chart is oversold, or overbought, I should say, so you could maybe get pinned and go a little higher, but again, you're getting close to the top of the channel. I would expect to move back to the low, 27.30 or something, and then just consolidate in here until you get a breakout or a breakdown. If you break down, you're looking for 26.40. If you're breaking to the upside, again, around that $3,000 range. If we go back over to Bookmap and look at the Ethereum, where we can go, let's just zoom out here. This tells you where there's the most orders at on Ethereum. And really, Bookmap is saying there's no orders at $3,000. There was the other day. Now there's no orders at $3,000. So it's very likely Bookmap is saying, there's some orders at $3,000. I feel like it used to be more. Maybe it wasn't. Bookmap, to me, is kind of indecisive, but I'd be looking for downside on Ethereum short term to 27.30, about $40 lower, and then you can look. I don't know what just happened. Bookmap just crashed, but then you can look for upside. So I still think $3,000 is possible. Bookmap does still have orders up there. It's just not going to happen immediately. It'll probably be next week if that does happen. So Ethereum looks good. To me, long term, super short term, I'm looking for a tad more consolidation on that. AIOZ, if I look at the weekly chart, it's overbought coming down. It's not overbought anymore. Actually, look at that. The weekly chart is flagging out for AIOZ, and AIOZ looks like it wants to make a move to the upside. So on the weekly chart, this is going to take 3 to 6 months to play out, but it's saying that $2.50 is possible, but that's going to take a long time to play out. The 3-day chart still has more gas. The daily chart is overbought, so be cautious. The 4-hour chart is making a higher low, and it's above the channel right now. It's breaking out. The 4-hour chart already broke out, and it's probably attempting a bullish retest of this 14-15 cent level. So I would be looking out for AIOZ to have some nice moves. I might put this on my watch list because it looks bullish to me. So AIOZ looks like could have a nice run here pretty soon. 4-hour chart needs to probably retest 15 cents or something like that. And then if you hold 15 cents, you can get another rip to the upside on AIOZ. So I like this. It says the weekly time frame again says that $2.50 is possible on AIOZ. I would just be cautious because weekly is still in a downtrend, and in the 3-day looks fine, but the weekly does not look good to me. It is in a downtrend, although it's flagging out. The R side does not look good to me on the weekly, but it could still go up, I guess. But long term, in the next 3 to 6 months, it's saying that $2.50 is possible. So that's probably a 10x or something like that. So AIOZ could really have a nice run. I might be missing some of them, so if I miss them, just repost them. ICP, let's go look at ICP. Let me make sure I'm not missing anything on YouTube. So ICP on the weekly is in a downtrend. Be cautious. The 3-day time frame is oversold. It's one of these few altcoins that's oversold on the 3-day time frame. So I would be looking for ICP to have a nice move up, maybe to $78. Again, that's a huge move, but I could see it happening. I haven't looked at this in a while, but you're still in the bullish pennant that I'm looking at on ICP. You're still just filling it out, and there's not much. Whenever I looked at this last, there's not much that's really changed on ICP. You're still holding this level, and as long as you make a higher low above 11.50, or really as long as you don't lose $12, I'm still bullish on ICP on the super long-term time frame. 4-hour chart, 1-hour chart, I won't get too caught up in those time frames. As just the weekly chart alone in this bullish pennant is saying a measure move. I'll redo the measure move just so you guys can see. Let me just do that again. Let me zoom out a little bit. Let me get another measure move just to make sure it lines up correctly. But this looks pretty good to me. If you take the whole measure move, that would get you to resistance at $78 on ICP. So ICP on the weekly looks extremely bullish. Thank you for the follow, Jeremy. So if you guys have other requests, let me know in the comment section below and I'll look at them. I can look at Tron. Let's go look at TRX. TRX, this is on MEXC Futures. It's having a nice pump up, 2.5% today. The weekly time frame right now for Tron is overbought. Be cautious. This is one of those few altcoins that is actually overbought. The 3-day time frame is completely overbought. Tron is probably ready for a pullback, but it looks like it's making a rounded bottom, so I'll get into that in a second. Actually, let me go do that right now. 3-day time frame is overbought, but this is a rounded bottom on Tron, so that's a good sign for a macro move to the upside. Really, what you could be saying here is that this is going to be a cup and handle. You could go up a little bit more to get like this double top on the huge time frame, 3-day time frame. I'll get a top here, a double top at 17.2, and then what I'd be looking for is a cup and handle to form, and then that would give the 3-day time frame and the weekly time frame some time to consolidate. And then what would happen is this would become a cup and handle. Then you get the measure move from this cup and handle from taking it from the neckline, assuming it tops out 17.2 to the last local low, and then roughly wherever the bottom is, you could be looking for a move maybe to 40, 50 cents, 55 cents at most on TRX. TRX on the weekly looks bullish, but it is overbought, so be cautious. But I could foresee this coming. I'm just trying to see or predict what's going to happen in the future. A cup and handle slightly higher to 17.2, then you get resistance, then you have a falling wedge form here, making the handle, and then you could form a cup and handle with a measure move, around 40 to 50 cents. That's going to take, weeks to play out because each candle is 3 days, but that's what I could see happening, towards the middle to the end of this year on TRX. Thank you for the likes, and guys, we do have a Telegram group. Feel free to join that. It is free to join. Link to join that is in my bio on TikTok. Someone is requesting that I look at Chainlink. Chainlink looked like it was going to break out last week. It failed miserably, and that was frustrating. But Chainlink is now trying to retest that $20 resistance level. It's trying to do so. Let's go. I'm going to try to reopen Bookmap and see what that's looking like. Also going to check and see if there's anyone watching on YouTube. There's not. All right. So, right now the weekly time frame has more gas on the weekly for Chainlink. The 3 days overbought. The daily is making a higher low, so maybe that's why we're getting resistance. Maybe the daily is resetting, and then you can go for another tear. If you look at the 4-hour chart, 4-hour chart is kind of looking bullish to me right now on Chainlink. You could really say that that is a bullish pattern, and we can look for more upside. That's a flag, I would say. And your measure move on Chainlink short term is up to that $24 level. I know that Chainlink is one of those few coins that you can chart on MEXC or see where the order's at on Chainlink. So let me do that really quick. LINK. I'll use the Coinbase one. I'll subscribe to them. Let's go over and look at Link while it's loading. We can kind of see what's going on. Come on. So it's still loading. You can see there's a lot of orders up there at $20.70. You can see there's a lot of orders at $22. And there's a ton of orders up here at $25. So Link suggests you go higher long term. If you break this $20 resistance, you're looking at $24 as the next resistance, and then there's a lot of orders up there at that $25 resistance level. So it's likely if you get this move up here, you could go to $24, $25 within a few days on Chainlink. So that looks good to me. Next request was audio. This is on MEXC as well on futures. The weekly time frame is getting, weekly is completely oversold. That's a good sign for audio. The 3 days overbought, making kind of a rounded bottom. The daily right now is again overbought, making a lower high. Now it'd be a higher high, or it'd be a double top if you get up to like 30 cents. For right now, that's a lower high, so you need to get a little bit higher. The 4-hour chart is overbought. The 1-hour chart is oversold. So then I would just look at the 1-hour chart to see if you're flagging out. If you're flagging out, that's it. The 1-hour chart could suggest that you're going to keep going higher. But right now, audio looks decently bullish to me. That is another pennant. And Your measured move would be about 29 cents to be conservative. And that would get you to that resistance that I was just talking about. So 1 hour chart suggests you could go to that double top resistance and then kind of form maybe a cup and handle on audio as well. So that's what I'm looking at on audio. I'm using TradingView. Does LCX gonna start going back up? LCX is on Coinbase. Let's look. This is the Kraken chart, I guess. LCX is going parabolic, so I'm not quite sure what you're talking about. On the month, it's up 93%. On the 3 month, it's up 534%. So I would say it's already in a massive uptrend. You got rejected off of 33 cents resistance. Really, the next support on the weekly level is 16 cents. And if you lose a 21-day moving average here on the 12-hour, it's likely you come down to 11.5 or just above that. So if you don't get back to 33 cents, you're probably coming to 16 cents short term, in the next few days. So LCX is in a downtrend right now, and I would just leave it at that. So with that being said, let me make sure. So that's kind of all I got, guys. I'll be back live Monday. I don't know what time Monday because I do have this other job. That's why I tell you guys to join the Telegram group. It's free to join. That way I tell you when I go live. If I ever have to change the time I go live, I'll let you know there. But otherwise, with that being said, guys, that's all I got. I'll see you guys on Monday for the next live stream. Until then, trade safe. Have a great weekend. And to wrap things up, I do see Bitcoin going sideways or down. So really, I would not be surprised at all Monday if we're near $49,000 for Bitcoin. So, all right, I'm going to leave it at that. I might also be shorting LPT here now. So, all right, guys, I will see you guys on Monday for our next live stream. Also, that's around the top for LPT, so I would also be very eager to short this, but it has rocked me the last few days, so we'll see what happens. That's around the top. That is definitely around the top. I'll see you guys on Monday for our next live stream. See you guys in the next day or 2 days. All right, end the stream.